Welcome to the Just My MomSense podcast. I'm not an expert, I'm just trying to figure out parenting and in turn myself while sharing things I've learned with all of you. Welcome back to another episode of the Just My MomSense podcast. Thank you to all of those that have listened so far, and welcome to anyone who is tuning in for the first time. My name is Jen. I'm a mom of two, and this podcast, as mentioned in the intro, is just a way for me to share things I've learned in the last 11 years of being a parent and working on creating a community of parents where we can have some awesome discussions. Since we are on the brink of summer, I thought this episode would be a great one for some theme park talk. Some of you may already know that I host a podcast with my brother called Theme Park Thursday with Dillo's Diz, and we have been doing that podcast for the last 7 years. And I've probably talked about this a bit on that podcast. I know I've definitely written some blogs about it over at justmymomsense.com. I know I touched on it a bit with Angela on the Magical Mommy Monday podcast, but here we are for some updated information when it comes to handling sensory overload in the theme parks and what theme parks do to help navigate that. Two of the theme parks I probably know best from personal experience would be Disney World and Legoland, but I'll be touching on some others as well. If you have ever been to any kind of theme park, you know that it can be super overwhelming, whether you have sensory challenges or not. It could be hot if it's during the summer. There's a lot of noise. There's just so much happening at once. Lights, games, everything happening everywhere you turn. And I think it's hard for parents who have spent a lot of money on full vacations or maybe just a one-day ticket to one of these theme parks. You want to feel like you're getting the most bang for your buck. You want to be able to see as much as you can because you won't necessarily be back anytime soon. Maybe you will, and that's awesome. But it's a lot of money to go to these theme parks. And so it's totally understandable if you're thinking, I may only go one time, I may go once every 5 years, or whatever it is. I will speak from my personal opinion. Not everyone agrees with this. I'm of the mindset of following your kids' leads, making sure if they need rest in the middle of the day, they're resting. Trying to go from morning till night. From my personal experience of even observing some others, that's really hard. And I have worked in theme parks. I have visited theme parks plenty. And I see end of day meltdowns happening from parents and kids. So for me, I always think quality over quantity. What is going to get you the best experience so that you and your family create amazing memories and have the best time you possibly can? I don't know that that's seeing everything. And FOMO is very real. So I also get feeling like you spend so much money and you really want to see everything. But if you maybe see half the things, but have an amazing time, to me, that's so much more worth it. And there are really great tools that theme parks provide that can help create a really great experience. I don't know that the parks are all there yet, and they're meaning they're doing everything they possibly can to meet everyone's needs, but I do think they're trying, and I do think it'll still take time, and it will be an evolving thing. Let's talk about my favorite place first, Disney World. So Disney World has something called the Disability Access Service Pass, also known as the DAS Pass. I've also seen people say DAS Pass. Now I don't even know how to say it, but I typically just go with DAS. So if I say that along the way, apologies if I'm saying it wrong. Disney has also made some changes and tweaks to their policy due to people that were abusing the policy and using it for their own personal gains when they didn't meet the criteria. I think many people have now encountered issues trying to get approved for this pass. And like I said earlier, The theme parks are trying. That does not mean they're perfect yet. And I would suspect that Disney will continue to work on their process and trying to make things better, or at least I hope so. But the idea of this pass is it's for guests who cannot tolerate extended waits in a traditional queue. You do have to pre-register via video chat, and I think you can do that about 30 days in advance of your trip. And so instead of waiting on a traditional line, you're given a return time. So you are still kind of waiting to get on a ride, but you can do other things. You can grab a snack. You can go on another ride that maybe was a walk-on. You can do other things while you're waiting for this window to open up. I'm going to read directly from the Disney World website. DOS is intended to accommodate those guests who, due to a developmental disability, like autism or similar, are unable to wait in a conventional queue for an extended period of time. DOS doesn't provide immediate access to experiences, but rather allows guests to request a return time for a specific experience that is comparable to the current standby wait. The guest for which DOS is being requested must be present during registration and must experience the attraction when redeeming a DOS return time at Walt Disney World theme parks. Some other offerings from Disney are Rider Switch, which is great if only one child wants a ride, an attraction, but another wants to stay with an adult. There are quiet areas throughout the parks. I know, that's crazy to think about. But places like baby care centers is something that I definitely did not know about before becoming a parent. And they were so great, especially in those early toddler days. We still do, bring snacks or drinks into the parks for the kids. And sometimes you just need to cool off and sit in a quieter place, have a snack, and kind of just do a reset. And baby care centers are great for that. They also have bathrooms and changing tables for the kids. They have microwaves, so if you brought in a certain lunch or food for your child, you can warm it up there. You can also purchase pacifiers and maybe other things that you may have forgotten along the way. Baby care centers are so great, and I don't know that many people know about them. Something my brother and I talk about on the Dillo's Diz podcast are pockets of Disney, and these are just little nooks and crannies in the parks where it's just a bench away from a crowd. Maybe it's sitting near fountains to kind of just calm you a little bit. Maybe it's a place where you can sit to the side and chill out, have a coloring book for a child. Sure, they can color anytime and you're in Disney World. I get it. But sometimes kids just need to feel something familiar and comforting, and those little nooks and crannies around the parks are a great place for that. I also have found that coming prepared to a theme park is half the battle. I've mentioned coloring books. I think also snacks, having plenty of water, because especially in the summer, but anytime, because you're just doing more throughout the day. You want to make sure everyone in the family is staying hydrated. Sometimes noise-canceling headphones or earplugs can help, especially if you're watching a fireworks show or a stage show. They can be pretty loud and overwhelming. Sunglasses, that Florida sun or California sun for Disneyland, that can be some bright sun. And if your child has a light sensitivity or feels overwhelmed from the sun, sunglasses are great. A fidget toy, a lollipop, anything that is going to provide comfort and calm in different situations, make sure you have those on hand. Something all the theme parks have, including Universal and Legoland, is a sensory guide. So each guide will give you the type of sensory input you may experience on any given attraction. Universal Studios also has an attraction assistance pass, which is similar to the DOS pass. You can get that at guest services. Works the same way with return times. Universal Studios also has 2 quiet rooms in the park, one in Universal Studios and one on Islands of Adventure. As I'm recording this, I'm not 100% sure on where one might be in Epic Universe, but I'm sure they have something there too, so you can always reach out to Universal Orlando, check the website, check with guest services there. I think it's all about preparation. So like I said, the Universal Orlando website, or wherever you are, if you're in California, check those websites as well. They have the information there. You can always call, you can always chat and find out more from the parks as to what services they can provide and what tools they can give you to make sure you have the best experience possible. We have visited Legoland, New York. I know that the sensory guides are big, and not only can you find that online, but also at the attraction itself. So if you're just walking up to something and you're not familiar, it will kind of tell you what your experience may be there. For example, I know they have 3D movies, and they can be extremely overstimulating for some. And outside the theater, they will have, you may experience flashing lights, loud noises, so you know what you're getting into. Legoland also offers a Hero Pass, and that's their version of DOS Pass, and that will help with waiting for an attraction without having to wait in the line. Because my Legoland experience is in New York and not Florida, we haven't used the pass there only because the times we have visited in New York, and because probably it's a newer park, we have not experienced long wait times. We can typically walk right on to a lot of the attractions. Legoland also provides quiet rooms and calming spaces. They're typically located near first aid. There's sensory toys, dim lighting, air conditioning, just a place to chill out. Of course, I'm not covering every single theme park. There are a lot of smaller theme parks in certain states and areas. There's, Great Adventure. If you're in New York, you might be familiar with Adventureland. And I understand that theme parks may be a scary place to go if you or your child may experience sensory difficulties, but it is possible to experience these places in a comfortable way. And from my experience, the theme parks are there to help you make sure that happens. I am someone who likes to be prepared, so I am showing up with all the things I mentioned that may provide comfort for my kids when I'm in these parks. I am also someone who will not go from morning till night straight. I will make sure there's a rest time in the middle of the day, or maybe we're getting a later start or ending the day earlier, just so that we're not go, go, go. Because summertime can be so hot, especially in warmer climates like California and Florida, that sun can be brutal. And you may think, well, I'll just bring a spray fan and some water bottles and it'll be fine. It might be, and it might not be. I think it's so important to set expectations appropriately and follow your kid's lead. The best part about vacations are when you're able to walk away from it and laugh over different things, or look back at pictures and smile, or think about a really special moment that happened that you never could have even thought about before going on the trip. Make memories with your family. Don't worry about what rides a friend or other family member may have gotten on when they took their trip. Maybe you get on it, maybe you don't. Maybe you eat that crazy dessert in one of the parks, maybe you don't. Make your own memories. Do what's best for your family. Trust your gut and have an enjoyable trip. It's also great to prep your child. Walk them through what a theme park might be like, what they may experience. There's so many videos now on YouTube which can give you hotel tours and park tours and just tips and tricks so that your child can see what they might experience. You may want to write a social story for them to take them through what their personal experience might be like, but just talking it through can really help. And not only before the trip, but during the trip, before you head out for the morning, before you go to sleep at night. Just keep talking with them and helping them through this experience. Sleeping in a new bed, being in a different environment, having a lot of sounds and smells, and just the travel experience can cause a lot of anxiety for adults and children alike. Theme parks should be fun, but they should also feel like a safe place and manageable for kids. And when they can feel like that, you'll feel that Disney magic, or maybe the Universal magic, or maybe the Legoland magic. Just remember to do what's best for your family and focus on making memories no matter where you are. If you have any tips or sensory-friendly experiences that you've had, I'd love to hear them. Feel free to connect with me on social media at Just My MomSense on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. As I mentioned, I do have previous blogs on this topic, as well as a few of my favorite things over at justmymomsense.com. Those include some fidget toys and different sensory tools we have used that we really enjoy, so be sure to check out more information there. Thanks again for listening, and be sure to tune in next week when I have another amazing guest. Thank you for listening to the Just My MomSense podcast. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Just My MomSense, or visit justmymomsense.com for past vlogs and a few of my favorite things. Music produced by Matt Harvey.